computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing alright. So this is the next stream for the Coding Minecraft Live. I haven't really done much in my off time. I haven't done anything actually. My off time this week for this code. Because, how's it going, Hilbert Curve? Yep. I've been reading this book, which is really good. So I'm trying to like read through a bunch of different OpenGL techniques before I continue developing any sort of rendering code. And how's it going, Langors and Voxel Riffs? Good to see you guys. Basically, because I want to have a better idea of what's out there before I continue writing complex rendering code. Because there's a lot of stuff in modern OpenGL that I don't know about. So I want to learn about that before I continue writing this stuff. So today I'll be doing like memory management and GUIs using what I do have. So I figured those two would be pretty good things to have. What we have, or what we left off with, I guess, is still the same. We got like this character controller we can sort of run around and stuff. We've got raycasting now, so we kind of see what we're pointing towards and everything. We have all sorts of different things. This is the reason I want to start working on like GUI management and stuff too, is because positioning all those, I have to do that manually, which is annoying. So I have to figure out some way to make it so that we can position these a little bit more dynamically, so that that's a little bit easier to do. But yeah, so we'll be working on that, and hopefully that will go okay. So I guess the first thing I'm going to start with is like memory management. I don't know. I'm kind of debating whether I want to do that first or like GUIs and stuff, but Voxros, this is like school. You miss a few streams and the progress made is insane. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that it looks like there's a lot of progress that's been made. So it's definitely not easy to keep it going and stuff right now, especially since I'm trying to read this book as fast as I can. So just so that I can get an idea. One of the things I want to do is like start using these persistent map buffers and everything to basically get a shared handle on some memory that I can share between the CPU and GPU, just to make chunk updating way faster. Right now, that's non-existent. So chunk updating is still pretty slow. It's fast, but it's slow. So, and I know it can be faster, which is what I want to do. But anyways, yeah. So I might just start with like some simple GUI stuff. So I guess we'll just create a new folder in here and we'll call this GUI. And I'm just going to implement some simple widgets, like a button, I guess is the first thing I'm going to do. And this is definitely going to be like immediate mode style GUI because that's the easiest thing to do. And then I'm going to have to come up with some sort of positioning scheme or layout scheme, I guess, just to make things a little bit easier. So we'll have like a GUI.h, I guess, or yeah, I don't know. We'll have like a, yeah, GUI.h, and we'll just sort of throw everything into here. Maybe. I might separate it out. I don't know. And then GUI.cpp. Okay, so then I'll go into here and we'll just start coding some stuff. Minecraft GUI H. So we shall see how this goes. Okay. So I'm just going to keep everything kind of like this, and then hopefully we're going to have something very similar to ImGUI where we just have like button. And I want to have like textured buttons and stuff too, so I'll have to add in support for that. So I guess the simplest thing to do would like literally let's just start off with, okay, let's have position, so X pose, Y pose, and a scale. I guess I'm going to use a GLM IVEC2 because that's a little bit more sense. So position, and then IVEC2 scale or size, I guess is what we'll say. Yeah. And how's it going, Joe Omega? Hope you're doing right. And Essie Woods, how's it going? So we're going to be doing some simple GUI stuff, ImGUI type things, and possibly some memory management stuff. I'm still kind of iffy on whether I want to do memory management. I think if I do anything, it'll be like a stack-based allocator, where basically you just push stuff to the stack and then pop the stack, or possibly like a general purpose allocator. I don't know. I'll have to see. And Joe Mega, for some reason your brain decided I'd sleep till 2:30 p.m. today. I've had that before. Sometimes I'll go in on lunch at my work or whatever, and then the next thing I know, I'm like waking up at the end of lunch, and I'm like, well, there goes that time. Sometimes it's good though. You just need it, right? So, okay, so we'll have this button function, and then I'm gonna have a textured button function. Not sure how I want to set this up so that's easy. So we'll have this size. Let me see my render real quick because I might just make it so that's similar to how this thing works for textured stuff. Yeah, so we basically got this thing called a renderable texture, which is just a texture and then the texture coordinates, and then okay, and then this is like the start and the size. Okay, so this is like the position of the texture and everything too. Yeah, I might do something like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Joe Mega, well, you did go to bed at 4 a.m. and you have insomnia. Oh, that's terrible. I can't do that. And Essie Woods, are you correct when thinking the clock is 8:15 your time, Gabe? You are correct, Essie Woods. So it's kind of early, but I woke up at like 5:30 this morning, and then tried to go back to sleep, and then I woke up again at like 6:30, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna stay up now. So I typically wake up a little bit earlier now, which isn't fun, but I don't know. It is what it is, right? Okay, so I think I want to do something similar to that, where it's basically like some simple stuff. Maybe we should replace this with like a transform. I don't know if I like that though, because then you have to like construct a whole transform and you can't just pass a position and a size. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can always overload things and then just make a bunch of other methods that do some extra stuff. For now though, we'll just have it like this, and then we'll have a const glm vec2 text chord start and a glm vec2 text chord size. And see, this is why I consider putting this stuff into a struct, because then you get these giant functions just to get all of your parameters in there. But we'll see how this goes, and I might change this up in the future. And then we'll just have like a texture. So const texture ref texture. Okay, and we'll just forward declare that texture, and we'll start with this, and we'll see how this goes. I need to spell that right. Okay. Yeah, it does happen. And Jomega, Haven't also really progressed with your SIMD abstraction since you're rewriting it with templated functions. So I went back from 3K to 1.3K. Yeah, I've done that before too, where it's like you go forwards, you write a ton of code, and then you're like, I don't like that. And you go back and then you go forwards. And so, yeah, I got you, man. And interesting. Oh, yeah. Jomega's SIMD project is pretty cool. You will have to show us. And how's it going, Mike? That's my brother up here. He's going to be in MCC Champions or something like that. So the Minecraft competition thing later today. So if you guys are interested in that, you should check that out. Okay, so we will be going ahead and implementing these two functions, hopefully, and getting some basic GUI stuff up. Hopefully. We'll see. Okay, so let's put this stuff in here. And then I'm just going to include that GUI.h folder real quickly. So, yeah, he's going to be in there with a bunch of like big Minecrafters. If you guys are familiar with like Grian and I think Martin and like In the Little Woods or something like that. I can't remember all their names, but a lot of big Minecrafters are going to be there as like the moderators and stuff, which is pretty cool. So. Okay, and we've got all this button stuff, and I'm going to do this very simply where we basically just get the mouse's position, which I'm pretty sure I can get from input, and then we're just going to check and see if it's in the button or not, and if it is, we'll check and see if it's clicking or not, and we'll kind of go from there. So, let's see if I can get, okay, yeah, so we can get mouse X and mouse Y. That's cool. That is what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and just say like if input mouse X is greater than or equal to position.x and input mouse X is less than or equal to position.x plus size.x and input mouse Y is greater than or equal to position.y and input mouse Y is less than or equal to position.y plus size.y. So if all that's true, then we basically go with this. So the way IMGUI typically works too is we don't even pass in the positions. It kind of lays everything out manually for you. And I might want to do something like that too, but I don't know. We'll have to think about that too. Layout system is something I haven't thought about too much. So you have an idea this was once 10 different functions. Oh, yep. So your SIMD stuff. Yeah, that's just insane. I'll be good without doing any sort of SIMD stuff for a while. It's great out because a resharper static analysis can't really figure out std is constant evaluated. Okay, so basically if this is all true, then we are hovering over the button. So we basically just use whatever this button's hover color is. And so I guess that's some other stuff that we have to pass in. I did not mean to close that. So that's when this starts to get tricky because then you start getting a bunch of extra parameters. So like we could have like a vec4 color and then a hover color and then a click color and all that stuff, but I don't really like passing all that state like this. So now we start building structures to wrap all this stuff up for us. So we'll have a structure, this is gonna be very similar to like the style. So like GUI style is what I'm gonna call this. And then we'll kind of go from here and we'll fix things up as needed. So this will contain a vec4 color. See, I don't know. We'll call this button style. We'll make these very specific and then change them up as needed. So vec4 hover color, and then we can add like outlines and all that stuff as needed. So then this will just take in a const button style, And it makes me, I don't know. I feel like I should just wrap all this stuff up into a button struct. And then you just pass the struct itself. And then it kind of just draws it depending on what's inside there. We'll do that for now. I'll see how I like that, and then we'll change it as needed. So this will have the ivec2 position and size. Okay, yeah, and then we'll go from there and we'll see. And these probably shouldn't be IVEC2s. I don't know why I was doing that. So we'll change that up. And then we will just have a const button ref. And that should draw the button. And then we'll have a texture button and stuff too. And stood is constant evaluated, returns true at compile time and false at runtime. But because of how it's defined, ReSharper thinks it will always be true. Oh, okay. I have not messed with is constant evaluated, so I would not know how that stuff works. And ReSharper just kills my system, so I don't even use it anymore, which is a shame because it is nice, but I just can't use it. So okay, so then we can replace all this with button.position.x. I might just grab the position. We'll say const glm vec2 ref position equals button.position just to get that out, and then const glm vec2 size equals button.size. Okay, so if we're inside of it, then we want to draw the button. So we are hovering over the button in this case. Otherwise, we are not hovering. And I guess we don't even need to do the else case there. So we'll do that, and then we'll return false at the end of this. If they click, so if input mouse press, do I have that? No, I do not. Okay, so that's something we need to add to input real quick. Can't believe I haven't had mouse presses in here all this time. So I guess, how do I want to do this? So we could, I'm going to do this sort of how we're doing the key presses. So we'll have a extern bool mouse pressed. And do we have GLFW mouse button last? Yeah, we do. Cool. Okay, so we'll do that, and then extern bool mouse button press, mouse begin press data. Do I want that? I don't know if I want that. That's just that you can detect the click on the first go. We'll think about that. Okay, so anyways, let me just make sure this is right. Yeah, so this is 7. Cool. Okay, so we got that, and then we'll say bool mouse pressed. I'll do is mouse pressed just to keep consistent naming style. And then we'll take an mouse button. And this will be our sort of, yeah, our everything. So this is how it will work. We're gonna also have like a mouse button callback. I'm gonna look up the callback standard for this or whatever, callback definition. Let's just look that up. GLFW mouse button callback. Essie Wood, such a crisp, nice weather outside. Ooh, nice. Don't forget to get some outdoor time. Yes, I agree. Going on hikes and stuff is always good. New dark theme for Google search. Cool. Thanks, Google. But yeah, going out and going on hikes and stuff. I'm going to go on a hike. Well, I was going to go on a hike with my friends tomorrow, but probably going to be raining, which means that no hiking, which is a shame. So definitely nice though. And do go on many hikes and stuff. Always good. Okay, let's see. Mouse button. Input, cursor, raw. Let's see. Enter, leave, mouse input. Yes, this is what we want. Okay, so this is what we want. Just grab that. And we can use that to determine what's going on. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste over that. And we're good. Cool. So we'll do that and go into input.cpp. And then we'll wire all this up in a minute too. Okay, so we got that there. And Voxverse, I just noticed you saying, is it really worth using though? And I can't tell if you're talking about what Joe Mega was saying or something I was saying. So if it was something I was saying, I'm sorry, I don't know what you were talking about. Okay, anyway, so we got this window button action mod. So then we can just say mouse button pressed, I think, or what do we call that? I already forgot. Pretty sure there's a new category for software game dev, a bit more specific than SciTech. Oh, cool. Yeah. And you were talking about ReSharper. Yeah, ReSharper is just, I don't know. It's nice, but it just takes up way too much memory and it kills my computer. And I'm like, I can't use it, you know? So, and I call this mouse pressed. So we'll do that. It's a shame because it's like, I wish I could use ReSharper because I love the functionality it gives you, but it's just, they need to make it a little bit better, I think. And yeah, in your opinion, it's worth using. I agree, it is worth using, but it's like, you need to have the right system. I don't know, it's hard. We'll put in a assert here just to make sure that we're not gonna kill this. So we got this, and we're just gonna check if button is valid. So this is gonna be mouse last Yep. Okay, and then we can just say return. No, this is just mouse pressed button equals, and then we want to do like action equals GLFW press. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and actually I'll just copy this, is mouse pressed. We'll have that, and so that I'm matching my header file, I'm gonna move this up. I don't know if that's a little bit too pedantic, but I'm gonna do it. So we'll put that up there, and we will go ahead and just say same thing that we did here, which was assert that that's correct. I guess I should say mouse button too here. Invalid mouse button. Okay, and we're asserting that that's correct. And then we're just going to go ahead and return mouse button or mouse pressed mouse button. Okay, cool. So that's pretty simple. We just need to make sure to set up that callback. Okay, cool. And Jomega, you'd say that it's also a bit of a VS. Yeah, Visual Studio is just, since Visual Studio is only 32-bit, 2022 is finally 64-bit. Oh, nice. You need to run a lot of stuff in an external process. Oh, okay. So since they have to do like inter-process communication and stuff, that's probably what slows it down. Yeah, I never understood what the difference between 32-bit and 64-bit was until a little bit ago, and didn't realize that it's the address space. So yeah, running 32-bit software is really bad nowadays because most software applications use way more than 4 gigabytes of address space. Like I think Google Chrome uses like tons of gigabytes. I don't use it anymore because it just eats up RAM, you know? So I got to go ahead and actually declare this guy though. So we'll go ahead and put this in here. Also, when you're declaring an extern variable, do you still mark it as extern, or do you? I think you don't, because I think that throws an error, but I don't know if it's just like an optional thing that you can have. But not just the address space, but also quite a lot of instructions are 64-bit only. Oh, okay. You can still use 64-bit instructions with the 32-bit software though, right? Because you can use like, even if you're actually on a 32-bit machine, you can have like software emulation of 64-bit space. So, or 64-bit instructions, I guess. I'm pretty sure. I don't know though. I'm not that well versed on that stuff. So, okay, and then we need to initialize that stuff too. So we'll just say memory 0 mem mouse pressed, and then size of mouse pressed. And I should do that with the key press too, because it doesn't look like I am doing that. So, okay, zero all that memory out. That way we just have false in there. So that's good. And we should be good now with that. I'm guessing there's a lot more specific instructions. Yeah, that's true too. And not really. Compiler should just compile that down to 32-bit instructions, since you can't run a 64-bit exe on a 32-bit. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we've got that input set up now. So if we go back into GUI.cpp, we can say if input is mouse pressed, GLFW mouse button 1, I guess. Do we have left? Okay, yeah, cool. That's what I wanted. Okay, so if the mouse button left is pressed, we are clicking. So clicking the button, return true. Okay. So we probably don't want this to return true multiple times, right? Because if we have this go over for multiple frames, So this is where like the statefulness of GUI systems comes in, I guess, because you kind of have to remember that you clicked it the last frame and then like, okay, so this is something I'll have to think about a little bit more afterwards. For now, we'll just leave it like this, and then we'll fix it up eventually. But yeah, just imagine certain games that use more than 4 gigabytes of RAM trying to run on a 32-bit system. Yeah, there's a lot of games that use more than 4 gigabytes of RAM, this one included, so I can only imagine. But let's see. So we're hovering over the button. What do we want to do in this case? Well, we want to draw it a little bit differently. So, and then if it's pressed, we want to draw it a little bit differently too. Okay, so we'll do this, and then we'll have another else case here. Which I guess doesn't really need to be an else case, but it does matter. So if we're clicking the button, we'll use the click color, which I guess we could add in here as well. So we'll say const vec4 click color. Okay, and then let's add in the renderer up here so that we have that. So if we are clicking, we're going to say render, add, or draw box. Yeah. Center is going to be our button.position. Size is our button.size. Style is going to be whatever our button color is. So we'll have like a, I'll do a static. Actually, I don't know how I want to do this. We'll put a style up here. So let's say style, GUI style. This is static. So then we'll have like a init method in here too, just so that we can initialize that. And we'll say this equals styles, default style. Let me include that as well. Okay, so we're good there. And then what we'll do here is we'll just say, this is sort of our style that we pass around. We'll say GUI style dot color equals button dot click color. And then we'll pass that GUI style. Okay, cool. So that should work out good. What's wrong with this now? No suitable from const.glm vec2 to const.glm vec3 exists. Okay, so that's another thing. Why is my draw box? Oh, this is a vec3 thing. Okay, never mind. I want to do draw square. Okay, so we'll do draw filled square 2D. There we go. That should be good. Cool. So we'll do that. And then otherwise, if we're here, we'll say GUI style dot color equals button dot hover color. And then here we'll do color equals button dot color. Cool. Okay, so this should give us a button. Hopefully this all works all right. Let's just try it out now. So go ahead and get rid of a lot of this stuff. And we'll play around in the world because that's where I put all my temporary stuff. Okay, so then we'll just say like if, let's actually include this too. So this is going to be hash include GUI / GUI. And I might put this in core if I just sort of jam everything into this one file. Okay, so we'll say if GUI button, and then we need to pass a button structure. See, this is why I don't like doing structures like this because I don't know. It's tough. But anyways, we'll just do this. I'll call this B1 for button 1. We'll say click color equals colors, or actually I'll just do hashtag. Let's pick some nice colors, okay? Could do this right. So HTML color picker. This is what I always do whenever I need colors. Okay, cool. So we'll go with like an orange color. That looks pretty cool. So hex, copy that, paste that, and then we'll say hex. And then we'll say, what's this saying now? Okay, yep, so that's a vec4. This should be a vec4. Yeah, vec4. Oh, it's because of, okay, the way I define the button. Let me just check. Yeah, these shouldn't be const. Because we're using structures, and these shouldn't be references. Let's fix that too. Okay, there we go, that's better. Cool, and then we'll say b1.hoverColor equals, I'll do the same thing for now. And then we'll change them, and then color equals that. Okay, cool. And then we'll change up the click color and hover color. Position equals, for now, I'll just do like minus, or I'll do 0, 0. Keep it simple. And then size, we'll do like 0.25, or we'll do 5.25. Okay, cool. And I think that's it. B1 dot, yes, that should be it. Okay, and then we can just pass in the button. And then we'll just say glogger info clicked me. Okay, see, this is why, I don't know, I can't tell if I want to have these as parameters or not, because it's just, we'll overload it eventually if I need to. Okay, for now though, let's see if this just works with the clicking, and then I'll change up the colors and see if the colors are working. Okay. Oh, and memory usage in this, sorry Voxverse, I just saw that, is not still more than 4 gigabytes. It's definitely way down, but I think I can decrease it even more. And just a little bit. Let's see, this will return false for now. And how's it going, Tree? Hope you're doing good. And so I'm streaming 1 hour earlier than before. It depends on what time I wake up. I woke up pretty early today, so I was gonna stream a little bit earlier, but yeah. And just wondering, why hex instead of 0xFC. Oh, because that's like a color thing. So it's not actually, I'll show you in a minute. But it looks like we're drawing it in the middle. If I hit that button, where is, okay, there we go. If I hit that, okay, so I'm clicking it and it's not showing click to me. So we got something wrong there. But this is just a user defined operator I made to return like a color thing. Yeah, so it's just in here. And if I go core.cpp, yeah, so I just have like a little, like it just parses hex values and then it determines whether you have like 4 digits or 6 digits and then returns the appropriate GLM vec4 with either like a default 1 in the alpha place or just like the regular colors. So yeah, and then it just has some asserts in here and stuff. So it's basically just returning a GLM vec4 depending on your hex character, and then you don't have to include the hash symbol and everything too. So yeah. But yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. Oh, and yeah, it should be const expr. It's not const expr right now, I don't think, but it should be. Yeah. Can you make an operator const expr? Like that? Yeah, okay. I'll change that up later. I don't want to change it right now because if I modify core, it's going to recompile the whole thing. But I will change that. I'll put it to do in here. Cool. Yeah, because that could be const expr for sure. Cool. Okay. So yeah, anyways, that's that. But we're not getting any information on click me. Let me see if our mouse input is working. So I'll change up the colors a little bit. We'll have like a hover color. This will be that. Okay, and then click color will be even darker. So we'll just use that. And let me see if it's correctly hovering and stuff. Okay, so we got that all set up. If the expression uses our const expr according to the spec, you can make anything const expr. Okay, cool. I did not know that. So yeah, it doesn't look like this is working quite right because it's not hovering or anything. Let's see what we got here. Oh, is it because my mouse position is in pixels or something? I have a feeling that's probably what it is. Let me just log that real quick. So info, mouse pose, that's X and that's Y. And then we'll do input mouse X and mouse Y. Okay, yeah, I have a feeling those are not going to be what I want. And it switched color when I ran the program. Did it? Oh, yeah. Whoa. Okay, yeah, I think my mouse coordinates are off. Yeah, because look, my mouse coordinates are definitely in pixels, and I want those to be in whatever it's called. World coordinates. Not world coordinates, but like my HUD coordinates. So we'll have to get that set up pretty simply, hopefully. You can get around those with your own const expr mem copy and just copying the content into the value of the other type. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to see about making that const expr. I think it should be able to be made const expr because there's not anything particularly special about what I'm doing in there. So I think I should be fine changing that up. But, okay, so we got mouse X and mouse Y. Basically, I want to have like float a mouse screen X and mouse screen Y, and then we'll have an input.h here, and we'll have these two. Okay, so then we're gonna have to figure out how to set all those up and stuff too. You just need to check that GLM vec4 CTOR's const expr, but I expect it is. Yeah, I think GLM would probably have that all set up and everything. My mic is falling, so let me fix that real quick. Okay, cool. So we've got all this, and then what do I want to do is I want to have something where I can say like void set aspect rate. I don't know, not set aspect ratio. Void set window size, and this will take in a const GLM vec2 window size. That way we can calculate things pretty easily. Hash include. Oh, I got core in here already. Cool, so we're good there. So I'm gonna have this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add this into here. Where'd I put that? Okay, cool. So I'll have that here, and then I'll just have a static GLM vec2 window size. And this will just be vec2, I guess, for now. Let me set these to 0. Okay, cool. So then when we do this, we'll just say window size equals window size. And I'm gonna have problems here because of this. In window size, I guess is what I'll call this. Yes, I know that using like OOP and stuff would fix this, so I could use this or something, but I don't care about that, so. Okay, and I guess I should probably be calling that M because I called all these M, but I'm gonna fix that because I don't use this anymore. Okay, Jomega, you just need to make sure, oh, I already read that. Okay, cool. So we've got this set window size. I can use that now to basically return certain values for that. I guess I could make this a const expr because that's what it looks like it's going to have to be. But can I forward declare const expr? So can I do something like that? Yeah, it looks like I can. Okay, cool. Const expr. And then I'll declare these inside of here. And we'll go ahead and just do that. I can't remember. Okay, yeah. So syntax is sort of like a function with const expr. I don't use these often, and I always sort of forget. But then I can just return mouse x over window size dot x. Oh, this probably isn't going to work because these aren't const still. So I'll have to probably make this into a function or something if I want it to be this way. Let's see. Nah, I'm just going to... Okay, so I'm going to backtrack a little bit here. Yeah, because const expr only works with const values, so... and Etz, I watch your videos on YouTube, finally able to catch your stream. This time is kind of hard. Thanks, Etz. I'm glad you were able to catch the stream. And Joe Mega, nope, const expr values are just values. Okay, yeah, no need to make a variable into a function. Okay. Well, this isn't going to work anyways because those values aren't const, so I don't think that works with const. So let me just go back to extern. And then in here, when we're just doing the mouse button callback. Yeah, okay, so this is all I need to do. Or the mouse callback. Yeah, right here. So then I just need to go into here and say mouse screen x equals mouse x over window size dot x times whatever our projection is. So we need that defined somewhere. I think right now it's literally just inside of our camera. Yeah, so I literally just have it defined somewhere in here. Yeah, so this is the HUD view matrix, HUD view projection matrix. And then we got a half size in here, projection size. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna make this like a global variable somewhere, probably. Yeah, because this is kind of application wide. So I'm just gonna kind of put this inside of here. I don't know. I'm debating whether I want to do this or not. Okay, whatever. So for now, we'll have the input also have, so we have set window size, and then we're gonna have a void set projection size, and then we'll change this up if we need to in the future. So projection size, and then I'm gonna copy this and paste it in here. And then we'll just say projection size equals in projection size. And we'll change that to in projection size. Okay, cool. And that is going to be right here. Okay, and so now we got that set up. And then down here, we can say this times projection size dot x. And we'll do the same thing for mouse screen y. Except this is going to be y, and this is going to be y. Wait, okay, so my projection size too, though, isn't completely accurate because... Yeah, I should probably just have a projection matrix. Okay, sorry. Backtrack one more time. Because this projection size is that way, but our actual matrix, like our projection matrix, is a little bit different. Because of the left and the right variables and stuff. Okay, so we'll fix this in a minute. And just an example of const expr templated variable. I'll check this out real quick. Okay, so that basically, would it be dangerous if you just had this as like a double and then when you use it as a float, you just downcast it though? Because that would just chop off the bits. I don't know. Yeah, because you're doing a static cast here anyways. I guess you're getting the type safety, but the static cast kind of removes the type safety, right? Yeah, that would be the same. So that's still pretty cool though. And it's a const expr, so it makes it better. Okay, anyways though, so I need to get this matrix. And I'm deciding whether how I want to use this. Okay, so we'll just change this to be a mat4. Projection matrix, and then we can sort of get the inverse of that and use that to calculate our stuff. Okay, so then fix that. Projection matrix, and this is going to be in projection matrix, and we'll do that. Okay, no, that. Okay, cool. So what's this saying now? Oh, this should be a mat4. Okay, so we've got our projection matrix, which should be set probably once whenever we set that size. So I'll probably have like an initialization method in the camera or something that just gets all this stuff set up. And then the window size will be changing a few times. But we've got this projection size or projection matrix. Let me fix that too. And that. And now I need to use that to go from normalized coordinates to these coordinates. So I think I can just do like a glm vec4 temp equals vec4 mouse x mouse y. Or I guess I should do mouse x over window size dot x, mouse y over window size dot y. So those should be 0 to 1. 0, 1 for the homogeneous coordinates. And then screen x is just going to be the inverse projection, or no, we just do the projection matrix. So now we just project that times temp. And then I'll just have to do some extra stuff to make this work right. I might have that backwards. Let's see. No suitable conversion function from glm vec4 to float. Okay, yeah, so that's good. So then we'll just do vec4 projected screen equals temp or projection matrix times temp. And then we can do this is projected screen dot x and dot y. Okay, cool. So I think that should be good. And then we just have to set these values now. So let's set those values and then hopefully that'll all work right. Okay, so let's go into the window where we have our callback for resize. So that's fine. And then we'll include input / input, which I just have right up there anyways. So then here we'll say input set window size, and then we'll use the new width and new height as a glmi vec2. Okay, so that's all good. And speaking of that, I need to cast that to a float. If those are, is that, no, that is a float. Okay, wait, so what am I taking in here? Okay, this is a vec2. Oh, okay, so I just did that wrong. Here, back into window. This expects a vec2. Okay, so let me change that up and then we'll cast these to floats. Okay, cool. So we're all good there now. So window size is set, and then we just need to set projection matrix, which I'm gonna do in the camera.cpp. We'll have like an init method or something, which will just sort of set all this stuff up. So we'll have include input / input, and then we'll just have void init, and then we'll say input set projection matrix to calculate ortho or calculate HUD. What is it called? It's just called this. Okay, cool. So we'll just do that. And I don't think that takes any parameters, right? Yeah, calculate HUD projection matrix. Okay, this is coming off of a structure. Okay, so how do I want to do this? See, this is what's annoying when you don't just have functions, because now since these are actually attached to the camera, which I guess they shouldn't be, because the view matrix and stuff on this don't actually have anything to do with the camera. So I'm going to remove that very quickly. And these are just going to be part of camera namespace. Oh man, see, I don't know what to do with this part now. Okay, we'll think about this for a second. I'm going to leave these in here, so we'll leave this the same way. And then instead of having this initialization method, which is what I was going to do, we'll set this wherever we create the camera. So I believe that's in world. And we have this up here. Okay, yeah. So we set up the camera here. Let's see. Believe we should set up like a camera structure somewhere. Okay, so we add transform, we add a tag, and then we don't do anything else. Do I have a camera structure in here somewhere? I probably do. Okay, yeah, so I have this camera thing. Let's see where we use that. Okay, and then we use that here. Okay, cool. And then we'll say input set projection matrix camera dot calculate HUD. Okay, cool. So that should set that up. We should be good there. Now we have the projection matrix set. That should never change, and if it does, I can add in code to handle that too. So let's see if we get the correct thing now, but I forgot to change the logging and everything, and to change this to use ScreenX. Okay, so I'll fix that in a minute. Yeah, so this still isn't working right because I didn't change any of those values up. Okay, so change that to ScreenX and ScreenY. So that's fine, and that should be fine. And I also want to log these just to make sure that we are getting the correct stuff. So I'm going to go back down to where we had those logging before, which, yeah, I think was right here. And I'm just going to redo that. So we'll say info mouse screen percent 2.3f. Okay, and close parenthesis, and then we'll do input mouse screen X and mouse screen Y. Okay, cool. So let's see if this is working now. Should be, hopefully. So we should get like -3 to 3 on the X axis, or maybe -6 to 6. I'm not sure. Nope, we're getting negative, not a number. So that's not good. So I am doing something wrong there. Did I forget to set something? Oh, maybe I have to set the window size initially. That would make sense. Yeah, because that's the resize callback, but the window is never resized. So let's go back into here. And when we create the window, we also have to do this. So, oh, and I never set the mouse button callback too. I forgot to do that too. Man, I forgot everything. Okay, so we'll set this up to window star res window pointer, and then input mouse button callback. Okay, cool. And then we also need to initially set our size. Okay, so this is window width height, and then we'll go input set window size to window width and window height. Okay, cool. I believe. Wait, I might have did that wrong. Okay, no, I'm gonna set it to the width and the height that we have here. Okay, so I think this is taking in a like a vec2 though. So yeah, vec2. So we'll do vec2, float width, float height. Okay, and now we're good. Cool. So we'll do that, and now we should be good. Hopefully, not a number. Do you not want to post on YouTube community when you go live? Oh, that might actually be a good idea. I'll have to start doing that. The reason I don't do it is because I don't know if there's an automatic way to do that right now. There might be, and I might just not know about it. So I'll have to look into that. Thanks for the suggestion, though, Essie Woods. So this is 0. and this is 0.3. So that's definitely not right. And then this is 0.2, or wait, what is this? This is 0.6. And this is 0. So what am I doing wrong with my projection? Wait, let's see. Okay, so how am I projecting this? Okay, so I normalize these and then I multiply them by the projection, which, is that right? I feel like that's right. Maybe, wait a second. I gotta think about this real quick. Okay. And Desi Woods, you've seen others do it. Just a text on the community. I don't know how it works myself. Okay, yeah. I should probably start doing that just so that we can let people know. That is a good idea. I like that suggestion. I'll have to see if there's an automatic way to do it too, so that I can just sort of have that like go out automatically. The YouTube API probably has something that I can use to do that. Let me open up a shader real quick, because now I'm questioning myself on whether I'm doing this right. So if we open this up. Okay, so we do projection times the view times the position. And what is the position? The position is in... Yeah, the position is in the projected coordinates already. So this is in the range from like 0 to 6 and stuff, and 0 to 3. Oh, so I want to do like inverse projection times inverse view or something like that. That's what I think I want to do. Yeah. In the view doesn't matter too much, I don't think, because we're just doing it at 0, 0. Yeah, so the view is just 0, 0. So I don't think that matters too much. So we'll just do the inverse projection and let's see what happens there. This is always fun, right? So this is gonna be inverse projection. And this is gonna be GLM inverse. Okay, so we do that. And we change this to inverse projection. Okay, maybe this will do it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because I think that's getting it into a range from 0 to 1. So if we want to go... Okay, yeah. So now we're getting... Nope, we got 0 there. We have 2 there. And we're stuck in the world right now. We have 1.5 there. 0 there. Okay, so that's not quite right. And we got stuck in the world there. That was just a physics bug, so that doesn't work quite right still. Okay, so I gotta think about this real quickly. I'll probably draw some stuff out real quickly just because that's gonna help me think about this. So I'm gonna switch over to here real quick. So inside that shader, what we're doing is we are going from projection to GL position. And GL position is in the range from -1 to 1, I believe. Because that's the normalized device coordinate range, right? So basically right now what we have is we have the range from 0 to 1, which I guess is just normalized coordinates. So we can go from here to here pretty easily, so that's easy step. And then how do we get to here though? This, so NDC is equal to our projection times our view times our position. So I guess our model, right? So model, view, projection in OpenGL. So in GLSL, it's just backwards. So model, view, projection. So what I want to do to go backwards, and then this gets me normalized device coordinates. So then to go backwards from this, so to get the model, which is what I want, that should equal NDC. Well, I'll do it OpenGL way, I guess. So that would be inverse projection times inverse view times NDC. Okay, so, and then that should get me back to model coordinates. Okay, so I think I'm just missing the step of converting to normalized device coordinates, and then we should be good since the view is kind of negligible at this point. So, I'm going to switch over to here real quick. So inside that shader, what we're doing is we are going from projection to GL position. And GL position is in the range from -1 to 1. So let's go back to that, and I think we should be good. Okay. So then we just have to change this up a little bit. So this is going to go from 0 to 1. So then if we want to go from -1 to 1, we just multiply by 2, subtract 1. Yep, because I'll go 0 to 2. And then, yeah, okay. And then same thing here. So we'll just multiply 2, subtract 1. Okay, cool. And then we just multiply by that inverse projection. Let's see if that gives us what we want. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it will. Oh, okay. It's closer, I think. So if we go over here, this is... Okay, yeah, -3. And then this is +3. Okay, cool. We've done it. And then this is 1.5 minus 1.5. Okay, yeah, that's right, because that size is 3. Okay, so that's 3. This is 6 across. Okay, cool. So we've done it. Okay, except something is off because... Oh, okay, because the size is from the center and I'm calculating... Okay, cool. Okay, we're there now. We're almost there. So what's going wrong now is I just have to change this. This is the center of the button and I'm treating it as if it's the bottom left. So we should say position equals the button's position minus half the size, right? So that I'm treating it as if it's from the bottom left, right? Yeah. So we'll do minus size over 2. And we'll do times 0.5 because, or no, I just have to, whoops, minus button dot size over 2. Okay, cool. So that should be good. And then hopefully we should get the correct hover functionality and everything. Let's see if this works. So, nope, that's not right. Well, okay, looks like I'm off by half. Yeah, it looks like I'm off by half. If I click it, okay, yeah, so it does show that it's clicking, which is good. But I am off by half, so this is... Yeah, so I did something wrong again. Okay. Also, a new thing that I learned about, I'll tell you guys in a minute. Okay, so mouse screen X is greater than or equal to position.x. Position.x is the bottom left of the button right now, because this is the center of the button minus the button size, I believe. Let's check the render, double check that. Texture, I think this is square 2D. Yeah, okay. So this is going from whatever the start is, which is what you passed me. So I draw a line from start. Okay, no, yeah, this is from the bottom left. Okay. And then when I call that function, yeah, so we're drawing filled square from button's position, which if we look in here, the button's position is bottom left, right? Yeah, so this is start, which... Okay, so draw filled square. Wait, let me check this one more time too real quick. Yep, so we're going start plus size, and then start plus Y size, and then we're going start to start plus... Okay, yeah. So it looks like that is the bottom left, so that's weird. That would not work if I just leave this as position. Let's double check this. Maybe this was working and I just didn't realize it. And then I'll tell you guys about something I learned. Don't worry. Okay, so let's... Oh, it looks like it's just the Y... Oh, okay. It's because the Y coordinates are flipped. I think OpenGL, it's weird. It does it flipped for some reason. So if we just go back into here... how do I do this to flip it again? I think I can just do a negative. And that should flip it so that we have it correct. Okay. Because I think it's just flipping like the axes or something. So now, okay, yeah. Cool. Okay, so now we have that hover functionality correct. We can click it and it's showing that we clicked it. If we go back into the world and we comment this out, we can see that it says clicked me every time we click it. Let's see if that works. So we have nothing in the logs. I click it and it says clicked me. And it only says it once too, which is kind of good. I don't know if we want it to be like if you're holding down, it's clicking it, or how we want to do that. We will see, but yeah. And what video editing software do I use? I do use DaVinci Resolve. Resolve is great. So yeah. Also, something I learned, guys, if you hit F12 while you're debugging an application in Visual Studio, it throws a breakpoint. I thought this was my code. This is not my code. This is Visual Studio. So like, I wish they would tell you something. It just says Minecraft has triggered a breakpoint, and then it tells you it came from like NTDLL, and it doesn't tell you what the heck went on, but it's just a Visual Studio thing. Like, Visual Studio, debug application, hit F12. And then, yeah, so it's just like something that Visual Studio does. It's a reserved key for the debugger and is kernel based. Like, why would they do that and then not tell you why it broke? Yeah. Anyways, that was just something I figured out because I tried to bind F12 to my exit key. But yeah, I use DaVinci Resolve, and Resolve is great. And we have buttons that work now, which is nice. Now for more of a design question, I guess. How do we want buttons to work? Because right now this is working where you click it and it says you clicked me, and then the next frame it's not saying you clicked me anymore, which is good, I would say. Do we want it to have the functionality where every frame it's pressed, this gets called or something though? I don't know. I don't think we do. Yeah, I don't think so. So if we have that button working, I guess we should work on textured button, but that's basically going to be the same thing. If we go back into here, I'm going to close all this stuff out now. Yep, so we got button, and then I'll just have like a textured button, which is going to have a couple more things. So we have all the basically same stuff. And I guess we could keep all the colors and stuff too. And then we would just also have a vec2 UV start and UV size. So we get the textures, and then we would also have a texture pointer texture. And that should be good. Yeah, cool. And then we can just wrap this all up in a textured button. And we'll call that button. So implementing this should basically be the same thing. I don't have any textures to sort of experiment with though. So, or actually, instead of doing color, hover color, click color, we should do UV start, UV size. And then we should have a vec2 hover UV start, hover UV size. And then a vec2 hover UV or clicked UV start, clicked UV size. This is kind of operating on the assumption though that they're all in the same texture, huh? So I guess one thing I could do is I could have like another structure, which is sort of like a texture, except it's just like it could be either a full texture or it could be a texture inside a texture, like a sprite. I guess that makes sense. So I should probably create something like that, which is sort of what I have with this. If we go into the render.h, this renderable texture. Yeah, so this is kind of what we want. Minus this start size thing. So I guess what that would be is just like a struct. We'll call it a sprite. So we'll just have like a sprite, and whether this should be in GUI is debatable. So I may move that. So we'll just have like a texture pointer texture. If I can type right. Okay, come on, there we go. And then we'll have vec2 UV start, vec2 UV size. Okay, and then inside of here we'll just have a sprite, which is just the regular sprite, I guess. And then we'll have a sprite, hover sprite, and then a sprite, click sprite. Okay, cool. So then you can basically set up everything the same way. Yeah, I really don't like how you have to build these things though. There's probably a better way to build these, which I'll have to figure out in the future. But yeah, Joe Megan, one way, it's nice that they have that for F12. Yeah. On the other hand, it's annoying that you can't disable it. Also true. And I wish they would just like say what happened, because if you're like me and your application breaks and you're like, wait, what the heck? It just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they should let you know what's going on at least. But Voxlers, if you need it, you can easily make another holdable button thing. Oh yeah, that's true too. So we could have like a button and then like a long button or something that you can press and hold. That is a good idea. I'll worry about textures later. I don't want to deal with that too much right now. Instead, I guess one of the other things that we probably want is like a slider, where basically you have like the handle and then you can slide it to the left and right for different values, because that's something else that's pretty important. So we should have like a float slider. And then I guess, how do we do this? Then we'll just have like a structure for a slider, I guess. And by slider, I mean like something that you like grab and then you can slide back and forth. I don't know if that was clear, but yeah. And then we need like a vec2 position, vec2 size, float min value, float max value. So, and we'll just do that. And then I guess I'll just sort of define the style for this manually, and then we can fix that up later if we want to. So we'll do that. Slider. Also, we need text buttons too. Dang it. So there's all this stuff that I forgot about. Yeah, game GUIs are annoying because you have to add a lot of different stuff. Joe Mega, if it says breakpoint triggered and you were at a place you can't really put a breakpoint, then you can infer it's caused by the key press. Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's just more awareness would be nice. I guess that's the way I would put it. But okay, so if we get this slider, let's see. And maybe we should do this more in IMGUI style, and we'll have like a bool, and then we'll just have like this takes in a slider, and then we'll also have a float value. So that sort of tells you what the value is. I guess we'll take it as a pointer. And then we'll just put whatever value it is into that pointer. And then bool will trigger if they clicked it and they actually changed it. So yeah, we'll do that. And then should I take that as a reference? I'm going to do it as a pointer because that way you have to pass it by reference. So it's implicit that you're like actually changing that value. Okay, yeah. So we'll do that. And then inside of here, right down here, we'll sort of create the logic for this, I guess. Yeah. And SE Woods, dynamic lighting is standard thing for 2D games in Unity? I guess it's not. I think they started finally adding like 2D lighting support. Last I was using it, which was probably about 1.5 years ago, there wasn't really great support for it, which was annoying. And Starts Visual Studio pop-up shows. Did you know you can break and debug mode by pressing it? Yes, that's what they need, okay? IntelliJ does it, right? They tell you all sorts of random stuff that you never read. As long as Visual Studio just had it there, I would be happy. Or like, yeah, I don't even know. Or I don't get it. Why is it so hard to just pop up the message that says, oh, you triggered a breakpoint by pressing F12 when you pressed it? It's probably hard because it's getting triggered by the kernel and stuff, but yeah. Okay, so this is going to be similar to this guy. So I'm just going to copy that functionality and then we'll abstract that later. So we are hovering over the slider in this case. We also need the slider's current value too. Okay, yeah. See, so if we have the slider's current value in here. No, okay, yeah. So when you pass in the value, that value will be whatever the slider's current value is. Okay, I like this actually. So this value is what the value currently is for this slider. So that's where like the button is pressed. And we don't want this to be, okay, so the position then is going to be the position of whatever that slider is. So I have like a slider position and slider size. Okay, yeah. So let's change this up. We need these two values too still though. So, okay, so I'm going to change this to slider position, slider size. And then we're going to have a const glm vec2 button position, which is the slider's position plus their value over the length. Yeah, okay, so gotta think about this real quick. I'm gonna draw this out really quickly because it's gonna make it a little bit easier. And yeah, since it's caused by an interrupt in the kernel, VS has no clue what caused it. Yeah, well, normal breakpoints are also handled via software interrupts. Okay. Yeah, software interrupts are a strange magic that I don't understand completely yet. Okay, let's go back to the drawing screen real quickly because I need to draw this out just so I can handle this a little bit easier. So basically what I want is like a slider. So you have like the slider bar. That was horrible. Let's go thinner. Okay, whatever. And then you have like your handle, right? And then you can drag that handle to the right and you can drag it to the left. So slider position is going to be here. So that's SP. And slider size is going to be like the whole size of this thing. Maybe we should have those floats too. And this is like a fixed height, but I don't know if you want to adjust that height and stuff. Anyways, though, so then we have this slider button position, which is SBP, which should be right here. And then slider button size, which we're going to have like predefined or whatever. So how do we get that position from this position? Well, we just do sp.x plus, or I guess just sp. So slider plus the SBP. So and then this is dependent on the value, right? So this is the value. Normalized, it would be value over overall length, right? Well, I guess normalized, it would be max value minus min value. So max minus value. So we would do this minus min value to normalize this over max minus min. Okay. And I'm just going to remove that stuff, right? Okay. So this normalizes it. So we get it in a range from 0 to 1. We do max, which is this. Like this is the maximum value. This is the minimum value. If we do max minus that value, we get something in that range. But then if we subtract min, we get it in a range from min to max. And then if we subtract those two, then we get this normalized from 0 to 1. So I think we'll see if that's right. So that should be in a range from 0 to 1. And then what can we do to figure out where we need to place it? We just do SB plus the value, normalized value dot x times the length of this, which would be just the size dot x. Okay, I think that's what we need to do. So, and then we just need to check and see if we're hovering over that button. Maybe give it like a little bit of wiggle room just in case you're not quite on the button, but you want it to still act like it is. So yeah, let's do that. So we've got the button position, which is the sliders, or actually I should say normalized. Okay, so we've got float normalized value equals the max minus the min. So slider dot max minus the value star, that's what I was looking for, over or minus the min value. So slider dot min and parenthesize all of that over max minus min. So slider dot max minus slider dot min. So that should be normalized, I believe. And then we can get const glm vec2 button position equals slider position plus glm vec2. And then we want to do that normalized value times slider dot size, or I guess just slider size dot x. Yes, that sounds right. Cool. And then we'll have a const glm vec2, which is just gonna be button size, and we're just gonna initialize this manually to like 0.1, 0.2, and we'll fix that in the future if we need to. I think that's gonna be way too big, honestly. So we'll do like 0.05 and then 0.1. And then we might make this like customizable and stuff in the future. Anyways, now what we want to check is we want to see if we're greater than the button position. And we're less than button position plus button size. And same thing here, greater than button position, less than button position, less than button size. Okay, cool. So if we are, we're hovering over the slider button. And then if we are clicking the button, we want to change that button's color. So we'll make that customizable in the future and stuff too. For now though, I'm just gonna do some like gray values. So we'll do like, whoops. So regular color is just gonna be something like this, and then we'll make all this stuff customizable. Yeah, GUIs have way too much stuff. This is gonna take a while to implement all of these different things. So we'll do that. If we're clicking the button, so that's if we're clicking the button, and then if we're not, I'll do that. So that's gonna be if it's regular. And then if we're hovering, then we're gonna do, oh, and we need to return here too, because otherwise we're gonna draw two different things. Or I guess instead of doing that, which is kind of gross, we'll just do an else here. And then we'll do that. Okay, cool. And I need to fix this up over here as well. So I need to abstract this code as well too. Okay, that's better. Cool. Okay, so anyways, back to what we were doing. So if we do this, we have that color. If we do this, we have that color. And then if we do this, what color do we want? We want like a darker color if we're hovering. So I'll do that. And we'll make these customizable later. For now, this works fine. Okay. And Omega, because of Doxygen, you got these nice, blatantly obvious comments for my functions. Nice. Doxygen is nice. I'll have to check out your styling and stuff in a minute, because you can do some cool Doxygen stuff, which I'll show you if you want to check out in a minute. Okay. So the slider's background position or background color, whatever, I'm just going to do is like that color. So yeah, we'll have that. So this is for the button, and then we'll say GUI. We'll draw the slider itself up here. We'll say GUI style dot color equals, whoops, that. Why is that being so weird? I must have copied a new line. Okay, copy that. Hex, and then we'll say renderer, draw filled square, 2D, not circle, filled square. At the slider position, slider size, and GUI style, and that's fine. Cool. Oh, and then we actually should give this a z index. So we'll do -1 z index, and then the button will be 0, so that the button's always in front. Okay, and then when we draw the button, we'll do button position, button size, GUI style. That's at 0, so that should be fine. Cool. So same thing here. Yep, that should be good. And same thing here. Okay, so testing this. So for now, what we're gonna do is we'll have this button, and then we'll have static slider s1 dot max value equals 10, min value equals -10, just to make sure we got this right. S1 dot position equals vec2. We'll do this in front of the button, or I guess just below it. So we'll do like -1, -1. That's fine with me. S1 dot size equals, we'll do 1 and then 0.1. Not vec1, but vec2. And then we'll say if GUI slider, which is S1, and the value, so we'll have a value, and we'll change that value. And then we could do some stuff in there. So for now though, we'll say static float value equals -10. And if we're pressing it, then we'll increment that value. Oh, and we also need pass by reference. See, that's why I used a pointer, because it's clear now that that's happening. 0.01. So as we're clicking it, it should move to the right. Okay. So we'll do that in a minute. Oh, okay. You were just talking about the comments itself. Yeah. If you're using Doxygen though, what I did for like generating my documentation and stuff, I found this really cool, what's it called? Like Doxygen styling thing. I can't remember exactly what I used, but like they just created this really nice layout and everything. So like everything looks really nice. If you're building your website and everything using that. This is all generated automatically, but I don't really have any sort of documentation for real on this. But yeah, and then it's got dark mode and everything too, which is pretty cool. So if you're interested in that stuff, I can try and find that a little bit later, and then you can style your website a little bit prettier too. Also, Resharper can create the comment for you. Nice. And SE Woods, one final for finishing the game engine series. Thanks, SE Woods. Yeah, it took a while to finish that series, so I'm glad it's finally behind us. And then this series is probably gonna take even longer, especially with the amount of code that I keep adding. So, okay, I'm missing a semicolon. Oh, that's better. Okay. Now we're good. Let's see if this works right. Okay, so we've got this thing. Oh, and the button's all the way up here. Whoops, I forgot to add the offset. Okay. We're really close, though. What did I do wrong here? So we say button position is the slider's position plus the normalized value times. Oh, I forgot to add in this. That's helpful. Or actually, I guess that should just be 0. Okay, yeah, so actually initialize my vec2 correctly. So now if we do this, okay, so it's over here. That's not quite right. -10 should have it on the left side. So let me double check my math. So max value is 10 minus value, which is -10. So that would give you 20 minus min value is -10. So that would give you 30 over 10 minus -10, which is 20. 30 over 20 is not 0. So what am I doing here? Okay, let me think about this. So 20 is the range, so that's correct, right? So 10 minus -10 is 20. That is correct. How do we get this in the correct range, though? So if I do 10 minus -10, that's 20. Oh, maybe I just need to do that? Oh, or then plus min value? Let me think about this for a minute. Yeah, okay, so I think I might just need to do that. But then we have to be careful. We just need to make sure we clamp this to 0 and 1. So we'll say glm clamp, or I guess normalized value equals glm clamp. This is, yep, the value. So normalized value, 0, 1. So that way, if we go out of bounds, it doesn't matter. It'll still be within the actual range. Okay, I think that's fine. Yep, so we've got it at the right there. Well, that's not quite right too. It should be at the left. So I've still got something going on there. Let me remove the clamping for now, just to make sure that we've got this correct. And Jomega. Well, dark mode might create temporary eye strain, but long-term use of light theme can cause you to become nearsighted. Huh, I did not know that. Dark mode, the savior of the eyes. Okay, I should have read that in order. But yeah, I agree. But I didn't know that it could cause you. Oh yeah, I guess it makes sense that it could cause eye strain. But if you have the text like good contrast, I feel like that should reduce the eye strain because you're not like trying to see the text. It's just I don't know though. I'm not optometrist. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so let's just double check this math real quick. So max value is 10 minus the current value, which is -10. So this should end up being 0. Oh yeah, so this is going to be, yeah, okay, so that actually makes sense. So this is 20 over 20, which is 1. So that means it would be at the very right. But what I want this to be is the bottom. So should I do plus min value? Slider dot min value. So that would give us. No, I don't think that's right still. I know I could just Google this, but I want to figure this out for myself. So let's go back to the drawing screen real quickly. Okay, so we've got a number line. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. Oh yeah, this is something I created. It's how the game engine's working so far. But yeah. Or the game, I guess I should say. So we've got a number line, right? And We got 0 here. We've got minus 10 here. We've got 10 here. So if I say minus 10 and I want to normalize this on a range from 0 to 1. So basically we get the length of this, which is max minus min. That gives us 20, right? But now we need to get this in a range from 0 to 20. So maybe I do value minus min value plus that. Okay, so then this would be, so wait, let me see. Minus 10 minus minus 10, which is plus 10, which is 0, plus 10, which is 20. Value minus min value, negative 10. Oh wait, no, that would be plus negative 10, which would be negative 20 plus 10. Wait a second. Okay, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so if we do value minus min value, that gets us like on a range from 0. So that would be 0 to whatever. Okay, yeah. So if we do that minus that plus that, minus 10 minus minus 10 is 0. Yeah. And then 10 minus minus 10 is 20. Which gives us our max. Okay, yeah, so that should, okay, I just have that backwards then. So, if I switch this to value minus min value, we should be good. I think. So, we'll see if this is right. Yeah, cool. It's on the left now. And then if I click it a bunch of times, it's moving to the right. Look at that. Awesome. But I want it to stay moving to the right if I just click it so that we can actually drag it. Why is that not working? So if we're greater, so we're in the range, we say if it's pressed, then we do this, we return true, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But why is it that this is not returning true every frame? So, oh, okay, it's because of this thing right here. Okay, so is key pressed, is mouse pressed when we set the mouse press. Yeah, so we're saying, we're checking if action equals GLFW press. We should say or action equals GLFW hold or something. What's it called? There's like a action that's like not release. I can't remember what it's called. What am I doing here though? Okay, let's see. So I say if action equals GLFW press, we say true. Okay, let's just do that. That's easier. So I'll say if action equals GLFW press, then mouse pressed button equals true, else mouse pressed button equals false. If action equals GLFW release. Okay, cool. So this should be better now because I think there's like some in-between state they have. I can't remember what it's called, but so now if I click and hold, no, it's still not working. Why? What am I missing? That's weird. GLFW check if mouse is being held. Mouse button, which is, so cursor position, cursor objects, enter, leave, mouse button input. Okay, cool. So we got this equals GLFW press. Yeah, so it says it's either GLFW press or release. Okay. Okay. So it's either press or release. So this makes no sense for me. Let's log some stuff. So we'll say G logger info mouse pressed. And then this will be released. And we should see that because like I'm holding the mouse button down. So while I'm holding the mouse button down, it should stay pressed. So if I hit press, okay, we get one pressed, we get one released. Okay, so that's right. So this should set it to true, and then this should set to false. So while those are true, if I call is mouse pressed, that should return true. That's what I assume. Yeah, so that's weird. Am I missing something in here? So if the input mouse screen X is greater than all that stuff, if it's pressed, am I missing something here? G logger info, because this is weird. Something's not going right. Essie Woods, my last comment was regarding a donation. Just wanted to make sure you actually got it, or I must do it again. Oh, whoa, Essie Woods, I just realized that. Thank you. Yeah, it looks like it did because it says that it went up another $50. Dude, thank you. I didn't even realize that. It's because I have my headphones playing the music that's playing in the background, and so I can't hear that, but that is awesome. So yeah, no worries, thanks. Also, down might be better than pressed. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But yeah, thank you, Essie Woods. I did not even realize that. So that should be fine because it incremented up there and stuff. I just didn't notice it pop up on the screen. So I have to come up with a better system for playing music and like actually listening and like being able to do the stream and stuff at the same time. Yeah, this should probably be is mouse down. You're right. That's probably a better idea. Mouse buttons are like up, up, pressed, down, down, released, up, up. Yeah, yeah. Down, down, released, up, up. Yeah, that makes sense. What I don't understand though is even if this was mouse button down, this should just be returning true. Am I like resetting that somewhere? Oh wait, okay, this is an end frame. Okay, I'm an idiot. That's why I didn't do this. Okay, this is an end frame, not initialize. I'm resetting everything to zeros. So it's just turning everything off after that. Okay. So fixing that, now we should be good. Okay, yeah. So now if I, yeah, so now it's moving to the right while I'm in it because it's being pressed. And then this thing too will be pressed. Okay, cool. I'll change up that syntax a little bit later so that this is like is mouse down, and then I'll have is mouse pressed and stuff too. But I might just follow this syntax where it's like begin press and then end press. I guess that makes sense. Down and then up and then released. I'll probably change that up later. Okay, anyways though, so now we can finally remove this. This makes a lot more sense now. And we need to fix up the logic in here a little bit more. So basically if I'm pressing, I want to see if I'm dragging, and if I'm dragging it, I want the slider to follow that position. So when we're in here, we want to see if we drag, or actually we can just make this really simple. So when we're in here, we can just say, set the value to the position of the mouse. That's all we need to do, which should be simple. We also need some sort of state though, so that we can figure out when we stop dragging, because we can drag off of it and we should be on it still. So I'm also going to add in like a static bool up here. Is dragging is false initially, and then if we press, we're going to say is dragging equals true. And then once it's released, we'll say is dragging is false again. Okay, so we got all that, and then we're going to set the value to the position of the mouse. So that should be as simple as saying position equals, or actually I guess we should say, okay, so we've got the mouse position. We want the mouse position relative to this button, and then we're going to clamp it. So sort of what we're doing here, this value minus slider, min value, all that stuff. And then button position is slider position plus that stuff. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to sort of do the reverse of this. So this is slider position plus the normalized value times slider x 0. Okay, I got you. I got you. So thinking out loud here. So basically what we need is our button position. Okay, so let's see. We need our button position minus our slider position. That gives us our delta. which is what I'll call that for now. So we'll do .x. .x. So this is our float delta, and I'll change that value in a second. And SE Woods, anyone familiar with making the animations being affected by physics engine? I saw a showcase of Unreal where they talk about it. The graphics is starting to get so good, it's important that the animations look equally good. Otherwise, it's just weird. Yeah, for certain types of course. Yeah, I agree. I think that's called inverse kinematics. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's basically like the idea of using your game world to drive your animations. And I think Sebastian Log, I always thought it was Sebastian League, and then recently found out it's Log. But I think he has a pretty good video on this where he explores it with a cool spider thing. Does he do this? I swear he does. I don't know. He talks about it at least in one video. It's like a spider that he has. Let's see on his YouTube channel, because now I'm curious. Okay, so he's got all this stuff. Yeah, it's one of his coding adventures, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so he's got all this stuff. Oh yeah, it's this thing, game idea generator. It's that spider. He's using some sort of inverse kinematics where basically, like, depending on where the ground is, the legs are placed. But I don't know if he ever made a video on that specifically. But yeah, you should check out that channel or that video if you want, and then you can, I think he explains what he's using there. So, but yeah. And yeah, inverse kinematics is a big part of physics-driven animation. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we've got that delta, which is the button position minus the sliders position. So that gives us, or actually, okay, this can't be the button position now. This has to be the mouse's position. So input mouse screen X minus the sliders position. Okay, so that's good. So that's our delta. I'm thinking about this real quick. Then we want to divide that by our size to get our normalized mouse offset. So we'll say divide it by button size or slider size dot X. This is our normalized mouse X. Okay. And then we can say value equals the normalized mouse X, which I misspelled. Mouse X times our max value minus min value. Max value or slider.max minus slider.min plus slider.min. Okay, cool. And I'm going to parenthesize this just so that's clear what's happening. Okay, so I believe that should be what we want, right? So then our values are sliders. Okay, yeah, I think that's what we want. Cool. So then if we go into here and then I can say log, whoops, info slider value percent 2.3f value. And we should get something from, oh, I need to clamp that too in a minute, but yeah. My brain screwed for the moment when you saw SIMD only has integer addition for integers, and it took you a moment to realize that signed and unsigned addition are the same. And SIMD at list. Signed and unsigned. Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense because that's just like a... Yeah, because addition doesn't change in like binary operations, right? You're still doing the same thing every time. Okay, so this is definitely following the mouse, but then it kind of bombs out whenever I get off of that. So we can go here real quickly, GUI. So if the mouse is pressed or we're dragging, then we'll set that. Okay, let's see if this works now. So we should have slider values now. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, what? This sets... Okay, so it's following my mouse just no matter what there now. That's weird. Oh, it's because I have to turn is dragging it's false if the mouse isn't pressed at all. So, so that's is dragging is true. And then I guess we'll just put for now, if input is mouse pressed, GLF W mouse button left. If it's not pressed, then we turn off the dragging. Okay, we'll do that for now. Oh, you know what it is now? Okay, it's because... So we're checking if it's in the range, and that's good, but then we need to do this separately. Okay. So we'll do this separately inside of here. We'll say if we're dragging, then we're going to set the value and everything, and then we return true here. Yes, okay, I think that's true. Just double checking everything. Okay, yeah. I'm going to change this else if... Well, actually, no, that's fine. Okay. Gotta think about this. So if we're dragging it, then we're going to set the position whether or not we're over the button anymore, because this is now true. Then we'll say if... else if... No, and then we have to say something in here. So we'll just say like if not input is mouse pressed, GLFW mouse button left, then is dragging is false. And we'll just, yeah, and then we'll just fix that afterwards. I don't really care about that. Okay, cool. We'll be like a frame off there, but I think this should be what we want now. So now, cool. Yep. So I can drag it. It's dragging it way farther. And then you'll notice in the logger, this goes up to 10 and -10. And then if I let go, it stops. Okay, cool. So we got that working. I just have to clamp the position now. So we'll say this, we'll just do it right here. We'll say star value equals glm clamp star value minimum is slider.min value slider.max. Okay, and now we should be good. So now we should have a slider working where we can drag it right and left, no matter where the mouse is. Yep, so I'm there 10, -10, and all the values in between. Cool. And it only prints out while I'm dragging. Sweet. Okay, cool. So that slider's done. And button's done. And yeah, that's kind of working good. But we still have a lot of other stuff to do. Let me change the slider's size real quick too, because I want it to have that notch a little bit taller than the slider. So we'll change that to 0.05. And see if that looks better. Yeah, okay, I also need to center that. So let's do that real quickly too, because that was something I need to check. So to center that notch, we'll do... The button's position is the slider's position plus, and then, oh, and I also need to normalize that value too. Plus offset Y, so float offset Y equals slider size dot Y minus my button size dot Y, which I'll put up there. That times 0.5. Okay, cool. So we'll do that, and then button position is going to be minus offset Y. And I think that should center it. Let's just check. Okay, I have it the wrong way. We're close though, so I should just do plus offset Y. Whoops. Or just like that. Okay. And I think that should be good. Yep, cool. Now it's centered. Awesome. That's looking pretty good. So we've got sliders and we have buttons, and I have like a million other GUI things to implement. But now we can start actually like building some sort of GUI elements and stuff, which will be nice, because then we can start like building settings menus and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'll probably work on the textured buttons a little bit later too and everything. But let me check the chat real quick. I'm gonna end the stream in a few minutes here too, guys. So if you have any questions about random stuff or this stream in particular, whatever you want, just ask them now, and then I'll answer them real quick before we end the stream. Not in C++ because of unsigned, because of UB. You'll have to say what UB is. C++ does not have defined behavior. Oh, undefined behavior. Okay. Does not have defined behavior for signed integer overflow. Then again, undefined behavior is the reason for quite some C++ optimizations. Yeah, that's true. I've been trying to fix up my C++ code a little bit more, so that I don't use the undefined behaviors and expect them to work. Like, I used to do like, if I wanted the maximum value for an unsigned 32-bit integer, I would just do like -1 and then cast it, which isn't good because that's undefined behavior. So you shouldn't expect that to wrap around, but I did. So I've started changing that to actually use like, I think they have like uint32 max. Yeah. So I actually use the proper values and stuff now for those types of things. Yeah. Anyways, though, thank you everybody for coming to the stream. We did get some good stuff done. It looks really ugly right now, but we'll make it prettier in due time with textures and stuff, hopefully. But yeah, casting -1 is defined as far as I know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But anyways, yeah, thanks again, guys, for coming to the stream. And hopefully I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, so we got some good stuff done. All right, guys, I'll see you then.